Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Falabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Beatrice. How you doing?
Hi, excellent morning. You are just a troublemaker.
No, by now everybody should know that it's time to the show.
I know.
How you doing?
Yeah, so our sales end today, 12 p.m. midnight. Sales is over, so if you have not come to buy, you're on your own. So I want to give a shout out to a fan of ours who sends me a pair of shoes. God bless you. She's been asking, have you collected the shoes of Mariah? But it's not my size. So I know like I look very small. I don't look my real size. I am a UK 14 when it's closed. I wear 42 when it's shoes, not 40. You can't, I am 6 feet tall. Statistics 40, 33, 46.
No,
honestly, because I know I look small. I always have that issues. I walk into a boutique to shop, they look at me and give me a size 10 or a size 12, and they'll be arguing with me that that's my
size. Your size.
Till I try it, and then I can't keep proving to people I'm actually a big somebody. So thank you very much for the shoes. I have a daughter who I'll definitely pass it on to if her size. Yeah.
Fantastic, perfect.
God bless you, ma'am.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I've been better. But my own sale is still ongoing. Okay. So we have sales ongoing up until the end of the month. We're going to extend for a week into next month. We're selling all properties at 5% discount, and then we're giving flexible payment option. So I did a major feedback from customers, and many people were complaining that why would I want to spread payment for 5 months and I have to pay extra? There's no English. We would allow you spread payment and you will not pay extra. So that's the promo.
Okay.
How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing amazing. So yesterday I was a panelist on a webinar we had my club, Ladies Environmental Club.
Nice.
So we're just a group of women who are interested in the environment and making sure that in our own little way, in our own little area, we're doing something. So yesterday we're talking about the benefits of a therapeutic and beautiful ecosystem. We're hosted by Mrs. Odene. She lives in Bagada. She has this beautiful home from her wall as you walk through her house. She's got plants. She's got like a compost system going on. So it just shows you how you can grow your plants for food, for beauty, for beautifying the place, and also how to use it for medicine. It was really a fantastic time I had yesterday. There was a Dr. Jewere who was there. He's a medical doctor and helps to and uses natural ways to treat people, and it was good. So we're live yesterday. I don't know how many people joined, but you can always go to the page, Ladies Environmental Club, and see what we did yesterday.
Fantastic. Well done. Good stuff. Oh, I bathed a cold water for the first time. A very long time.
Sorry.
How was it?
It was nice. It was nice.
They say it's therapeutic.
Actually, it wasn't bad, but I have to start teaching my body to bath with cold water.
It will.
I'm still bathing hot water this morning.
One day you're unusual. Well,
unusually cold.
Calm.
You think?
Like the cold water really calms.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Tinubu to governors, be ready, let's fix economy together. Ipman cautions against hike in petrol price. Ambode reunites with Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, and Fashola. NBF awaits family's burial plan for 1987 Olympian boxer Okoro Dudu. Deluge of visitors forced Buhari to leave Daura, says aide. Really? Eid ground clash. Adeleke's account illogicals. Bloomberg rates Aliko Dangote Africa's richest. 11 die as truck rams into bus on Benin Lagos Road.
Yeah.
Okay, which story?
The human interest story. So
Right.
11 persons have been confirmed dead. 8 others injured in an accident at the Benin-Ore Expressway. According to the story, they said an articulated truck and a fully loaded passenger bus were involved in the crash near Ovia River. The witnesses said that the truck rammed into the 18-seater bus, which slowed down to navigate a failed portion of the road. And they said it brushed the car before running into the interstate bus and killed 11 passengers on the go. And others who survived were rushed to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Ogbowo. Their corpses were deposited in the same hospital. So it's been confirmed, the accident has been confirmed. They said that most of the passengers on the bus were going to the southeast after attending a church program in Lagos when they had that accident, and a lot of them died. So it's just a very sad story. The Edo State Commander Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, Paul Okwe, also confirmed the accident yesterday, saying that they had to, rush most of them to the UBTH by their ambulances.
Okay, so yesterday, the president was hosted by the governor of Lagos State to a dinner. And the high point of that dinner was the presence of the former governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode. He was there reuniting with his predecessors and his leaders. The picture obviously broke the internet. Everybody was talking about Ambode was there. He was reunited with his leader. And after the 2014 primaries, if you remember what happened, there was like a fallout between all the leaders. But it was good to see Ambode in the mix of everybody. If you recall also, all of them, that's Fashola, Sanwo-Olu, and Ambode, all served under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was governor of Lagos State.
Yeah.
I think Fashola was chief of staff, and then Sanwo-Olu was special advisor, and Ambode was the accountant general during that period. So they all served under him at the time, and they were all part of his tutelage, and it was good to see all 4 of them together.
Okay, looks
They
like
said 4 generations.
you know, legacy.
Lagos likes to do shakara too much.
No,
What
no.
was this?
You have to give. When you lead others to follow, is good. Teach us good example.
But it was a good picture. It was a good picture.
So let me give you another good story. So the president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has regained his position as Africa's richest man. No, last time they said he was not the richest man. I don't know how it affected me, but it affected me emotionally. Anyways, the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, theirs is a daily ranking. So at the end of every business day, they rank you. And it measures personal wealth based on changes in markets and economy. And each net worth figure is updated every business day after the close of trading in New York. So today we have, he is the richest man in Africa. Of course, they list all other billionaires on the list in the world, in America and everywhere. But
Back to his
we are now first position.
Okay.
So the follow-up, so you guys had 2 good stories, and it seemed like I'm taking us back to drama from Eid, not sad, but drama. So they said the Eid ground clash, that the account being rendered by Adeleke's team, that's the governor of Osun State's team, is illogical. The senator and governor disagree on what happened. And one of the things the senator was saying that if you feel like there were thugs there, how come you did not arrest the thugs? How, if you said there were 3 buses of hoodlums, you stormed out of the venue and you didn't deal with it, and there's no crisis that happened, nobody has been arrested till now. They said he mentioned that the security of the state lies within the responsibility of the governor. So for him, he said the statement by Olawale Rashid is an indictment to the governor himself. Maybe they don't understand the full implication of being in office. There's still a lot of political back and forth between both of them, because a lot of name calling. We hosted them on the show yesterday, and we're still having to deal with this issue today. And I'm appealing to the 2 political leaders and their teams that the people of Osun will really appreciate if they work together as much as possible. Personal opinion.
All right, The Punch, service chiefs, seniors, military orders generals to retire, gives Monday deadline. Abdulrazak lists socioeconomic benefits as Ilorin Doba holds. Lagos court acquits woman charged with assault on policeman. Naira devaluation will increase raw materials import, says MEN. Subsidy removal, FG saves 400 billion naira in 4 weeks. CBN injected $18 billion into forex markets in 2022, says report. Naira redesign couldn't stop my victory, says Tinubu. And external reserves fall by $3 billion in 6 months. All right, which stories are we taking?
So our president on Thursday went to Ijebu-Ode, and he went to the palace of the paramount ruler of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Adetona. I hope I got that pronunciation right, in Ijebu-Ode. And it was a thank you visit. He said it was to redeem a pledge he had made that he will be back with victory and the crown. He also made reference to, you know, the pre-election period. He said that we delivered despite the hardship of no money, no fuel. I credit you, thank you, and I don't know what I don't know that it will be like this. Okay, so he was also saying that he wanted to just sneak in and sneak out, but now he realizes that being a president, that is impossible, you know, and that he said having achieved the PowerPoint of Emilio Khan, and then being here, I have redeemed the pledge. So he made reference to the Emilio Khan that he used. He says it's like he said he invoked the spirit of Emilio Khan. Okay, yeah, the freedom, and that's being blunt and decisive. There's a spirit of Baba Emilio Khan. That's Baba Awujale.
Oh,
So the spirit of being blunt, decisive, and and so he embraced that, and here he is today. He has become the president.
Everything is
and he's asking us that we should please bear with him these initial pains that we'll go through for now, but he will do his best for us.
Okay.
All right, major headline. The Defense Headquarters have given top officers who are senior to the newly appointed service chiefs till Monday to voluntarily retire from service. The order was contained in a memo dated June 26 and signed by Major General Yahaya on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff. And it was also directed to generals, brigadier general, air vice marshal, rear admirals in the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Nigerian Navy, who are senior to the new service chiefs. So they said that this is in line with what has been happening because of the way the military is structured. So according to the Punch, he said they would be retired following the appointment of the new service chiefs, as the president had announced June 19. And the retirement of the senior officers across the three services was in line with the long-standing military tradition that officers who were senior to the service chiefs must go, because they understand that they may not be able to, you know, take directives from younger officers, and so they let them go. However, and they are giving them till July 3rd to do that. But retired officers corps are saying that they are aware that this is in line with standing tradition, but they would have used the senior officials who they are asking to resign now to better use. They would have kept them somewhere. They may still need their advice in fighting insecurity in the country. That will come in handy instead of just, you know, dismissing them and asking them to go. That if they were replacing them with technologically energetic young people, they will understand that it's not just about being service chiefs. We need more in fighting insecurity in the country, that it would have been better that they kept them to still use them somewhat, not just dismissing them.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. So the president of the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, Francis Meshioye, was speaking, saying that the federal government's, the fact that the federal government had stopped the, at floating the Nigerian Naira, the currency, is going to actually help importation, reduce the cost of importation eventually. According to them, they said that it's going to stop the exchange rate from going haywire like it did some months ago. They're also saying that because the president had also assented to the electricity regulatory bill, they're hoping that when they do that, when each state is therefore empowered, finally empowered to generate electricity themselves, that should also encourage manufacturers across the country. they celebrated, they said that once the states generate their own electricity, it will be beneficial and to all manufacturers. It will break the monopoly currently we have in the electricity. And they're saying that once we have these, once the economy adjusts to the floating of the naira, and then the exchange rate might end up between 500 naira to 600 naira to the dollar, that would then be to be helpful to be able to predict the markets going forward. So they're just really encouraging and also adding their own voice to the floating of the naira and the electricity bill that was signed by our presidents recently.
So a 33-year-old woman, her name is Olufumi Layo Erioluwa. She's been remanded in prison, Kirikiri Correctional Facility, for allegedly assaulting a police officer, Olufowobi Nureni. She was held in the Kirikiri Correctional Center for 41 days, and she had pled not guilty to the charges. She was brought in court for arraignment on the 6th of June, and there was a civil rights activist, Inebe Effiong, that was representing her, said that they were able to prove, they were able to defend the case and got her bail of 100,000 naira, but because they couldn't perfect the bail, which means they couldn't raise 100,000 naira to release her, she was kept there for 41 days. She was brought to court 3 times, and each of the time, the person accusing her did not show up. There were no witnesses, no evidence, and yet this young lady had to spend 41 days until the magistrate struck out the case that this wasn't worth. And there are many people like that they are probably still awaiting trial or waiting for bail perfection, who are probably innocent in prison. We really need help for people to create more funds for activists to be able to defend people who have no lawyers to support their cases, and we can really decongest the prison of these awaiting trials. And
so these were a group of activists that actually helped her.
If not, she probably will still be there for the next foreseeable.
Okay, Daily Sun. Nothing would have stopped my victory, says Tinubu. No business partnership with Britain until Kano is freed, says IPOB. Sacrifices for better Nigeria must start with leaders, says Peter Obi. NAFDAC warns about contaminated soft drink. 12 pastors, driver baby killed in Edo road crash. Oh, my Lord. Catholic bishops reject proposed bill on Christian Education Council. Senate Minority Leader, opposition against Tambuwa's bid grows. And Guba polls, PDP confident of winning Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa. Okay, which story taking sales?
NAFDAC has raised an alarm over and has alerted the public of a batch of unwholesome Sprite, 50 cl drink that's circulating in Nigeria.
Sure, imported.
So the batch number is AZ6 22:32. Manufacturing date is April 18, 2023, and the expiry date is April 4, 2024. So they're calling, if you're a retailer, a consumer, be careful of this batch of Sprite 50 cl bottles that are out there. The agency has also asked the Nigerian Bottling Company, has directed them to recall the implicated batch of the unwholesome product. So NAFDAC did a test of, they first got a consumer complaint, and then they got some of the products, they did a test of it, and they found some particles. They don't tell us what particles they are. There's going to be further information, but it has adverse effects on people who have consumed it. So they say if you have those batch bottles, send it to their agency, and then if you have taken that as well, you need to let them know and let us know the effects on you. Yes.
I can smell class action abroad. Serious class action. They go make a lot of money.
So the indigenous people of Biafra are rejecting a business partnership proposal by Britain with the Southeast, insisting on the unconditional release of its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, as the only condition to discuss any trade terms. So spokesperson of IPOB, Ima Powerful, was reacting to the visit of the British High Commissioner, Dr. Richard Montgomery, to Ohanaeze Ndigbo recently, to partner in business with them, business development with them. And he says that is not the conversation he expected them to have. That, according to him, say, when has the Nigerian government, who is a baby of Britain, become powerful as to override the influence of Britain in the case of a British citizen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? And he asked, does the British think that the Ndigbo people are stupid, that they are not going to have any partnership with them till they can, you know, work on the release of their leader, and any organization, any Igbo organization that goes ahead to have any business partnership with them they will not find it funny. This is more like trying to pacify them with a gift that they're not willing to have. They should do the proper thing and then they can go ahead and have
Sounds like a threat.
business conversations with them.
All right. So the presidential candidate for Labour Party, Peter Obi, has condemned the 124 vehicle convoy of the president recently. He had described it as outrageous and reckless. According to him, Peter Obi said that he was yet to see the video footage of the Tinubu 124 vehicle, but he must reiterate that leaders must lead Nigeria by example. The present Nigeria requires all who serve to lead by example. And this is going by on the backdrop of when our president said that we must make sacrifices. So he was saying that leaders must sacrifice at this time for to achieve democracy that we desire.
I want to continue. I know that people listen and take Peter Obi's word like it is a word from the throne of grace, and it would be I'll be grateful if he understanding the situation would have gotten all the full information before tweeting, because now he's tweeting something and he's making the front lines, and yet he's saying he did not see the video. He did not do investigations to confirm whether the video is actually for the president alone, because there are also information that the president that 124 convoy wasn't the president alone. It was that all the people that went to meet him followed him. So that's just a little bit so that you're diffusing the tension in the country at the moment. I want to take a very important
It's also
story.
opposition, so we should...
Yes,
It's opposition. So, it should make... I would love to listen to him make...
So I hear
contributions that, like, when you hear him, even the president that is an opposition will listen to him and want to take.
So it's also a reminder to the ruling party
to be careful,
to be very careful that somebody's watching. So even though everybody went to go and visit you in the airport,
all of
know that we are watching that. We are counting how much fuel they paid, they bought to go and receive. So is that opposition? Because APC did the same thing when PDP was in power. Every small thing was accountable.
No, I just wanted the facts out.
You're right.
The presidential convoy alone.
So I let them. We need them to keep talking. Let people know that. Yeah, go ahead.
The Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria have rejected the bill from the National Assembly. So the National Assembly is planning a bill. It was sponsored by Rimad Shuan Kwenum, and I'm sure I bastardized that name.
Killed the name.
I'm sorry.
I have to pitch you.
Is it Nigerian name?
Yeah, I'm sure it's from
Her side?
Middle Belt. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Okay,
I
so
can't recognize
Rimamde
Don't move on.
Okay, so a few people have presented a bill, and the purpose of the bill is to develop a curriculum regulating and approving syllabus/contents on all level of Christian education, and from basic, secondary, even to theological institutions. And the Catholic Association have said that this does not, they cannot support this in any way, that this was brought up in 2019 by Association of Christian Schools, who are largely Protestants, who are largely Protestants and private Pentecostal-owned school. According to them, the bill originally is intended to regulate theology concerns and should not have anything to do with all theological institutions. Right. They've discussed the idea with CAN. They decided to pursue it in making the lawmakers not, that they disagree with it. They said the motivation was that the Muslim had an education board being funded by the federal government, so and they feel the Christians too should have an education board being funded by the federal government. But the CNBC president said in a statement that, at least for the Catholic bishops, they strongly expressed absolute rejection and objection to that bill.
Because the doctrines are different. That's the only reason I see. If it was one doctrine, we can still have that.
Maybe they don't want federal government influence as well.
Vanguard, why I invoked spirit of freedom in Ogun, says Tinubu. National Assembly principal officers tension as competing camps await Tinubu and APC's nod. NAFDAC warns Nigerians against contaminated Sprite in circulation. Why, how we killed naval officer. Suspects confess. Bloomberg rates Dangote richest man in Africa. $15.6 billion for the 12th time. UI Unilag Covenant ranked amongst 1,000 best universities in the world. Buhari never told Tinubu not to probe former government officials. Navy redeploys 57 senior officers in major shakeup. And uncertainty trails completion date of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Let there not be confusion. No.
Uncertainty.
How can there be uncertainty? Please,
I take further notice.
So the story of the naval officer that was killed, I took it 2 days ago. While, according to this first story that I took, they said he was, driving along the road and there was mud of water. So he mistakenly splashed water on the passerby, came down to apologize, and then they held him and killed him. But the 3 suspects have been arrested, the boys involved in that, and they started narrating according to their story, what happened. They said, so 3 of them are Ayomide Sambo, Johnson Adeleke, and Shagari Francis, 17 years of age, who just finished secondary school.
Oh my God.
Said that they were coming back. They wanted to go get their power bank for their phone. And they saw this naval officer who, I think one of their shoulder hit him. And so he came down, he slapped them in anger and used his head to, they call it head boots, one of them. So he left. They were upset. But then somebody told them that he's not even a real officer. So they traced him, chased him down, got him, and used iron rod to hit him, and that was what killed him. So between 3 of them, they are all denying, I did not hit, it was not me, I came and saw, I did not join you people. You know, it's been back and forth, but they are going to be arraigned in court. Prosecution is going to happen very soon. They are just so young, very young. Even if the officer slapped you, they are young.
Okay, Malam. Okay, go ahead.
3 Nigerian universities, University of Ibadan, Unilag, and Covenant University have been ranked among the top 1,000 universities in the world. So this is the Times Higher Education World University Rankings for 2023. So they look at 1,799 universities across 104 countries. And in that ranking, we have Unilag 1, UI first, and then Unilag and Covenant. And then in Africa, University of Ibadan is also the 3rd best in Africa after the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa, and then we have Aswan University in Egypt. So among the 1,000, those are the Nigerian universities that you'll find there. But we have the 4th and 5th best ranked Nigerian universities. We have the Bayero University, BUK, and then Federal University of Agriculture, FUTA. They are ranked 1,001 and 1,200 respectively. There are many others. In other countries like Egypt, they have 14 of their universities on that list. South Africa has 5.
Before, we only had Covenant for a while. I used to wonder that list for me. Well, it's only Covenant University, but now I'm happy that more of our universities are in that list. Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is provided by Julu, because it's one of those days where we just have those soft topics, you know, the kind of topics we see on social media, and just paint the scenarios and see how we can learn a few things from people's experiences. Now, again, we can't confirm how true these instances are. We don't know if they are true stories. They're just people's tweets that we look at and just, you know, try to see how we can have a conversation around the various scenarios and see how it affects us in different ways, or what we can learn from them. So there was one that Chulu was really
vibrating too.
Interested in. Go ahead.
I was just reading it too. I didn't vibrate. Anyway, I saw this story online, and it says, how can you be in a serious talking stage with a lady for months, and you then travel all the way from Ondo to Lagos to see her for the first time, and you came empty-handed, not even bread of 500 naira. Then you proceeded to stay at hers for 2 nights, ate her food and all, you can fill in the gap there, and you left without dropping 1 kobo. So somebody went ahead to reply, when she told you that you are unthoughtful, because really this is the little things that count, you had the nerves to get offended. Nobody is saying bring the world, but haba, this is not a matter of entitlement, but courtesy.
All right, so I think the reason why this was interesting is because a lot of men today seem to be badly behaved. And it's because many of them don't even know, or nobody taught them how to treat a lady, how to treat a woman, or how to understand the role a man plays in a relationship. It's not always about having money or spending, or they just throw money at relationships. Sometimes there's so much more women need. So the conversation today is about maybe we can help some men out there on how to be gentlemen. You know, we don't have a lot of gentlemen in Nigeria. And this morning, will discuss how to help you become a gentleman.
Oh.
Is it really
I
about?
love the way
Okay.
you.
Okay, so you took it to a different angle. I feel that I've listened to people assume that it's about being women like to be taken care of. Our Nigerian women like to collect money from men. There's this narrative out there that Nigerian women like to collect money from men. Let me just put it that way. And that Nigerian women are expensive to maintain. That there's a lot of demands from women concerning how, oh, buy me hair, buy me phone. Once you meet a girl, you are taking responsibility for herself and probably, by extension, her entire family. That narrative is out there. But there's also the narrative of, I want to test her. So I will not give her money. Let me see if she's a greedy babe before I'll now commit. This particular story is a story of someone being insensitive and showing traits that they won't be a kind partner to you long term.
At all.
I don't need, it's not about in a relationship. If I'm coming to your house and I'm going to spend a week in your house, I will not come empty-handed. And if I come empty-handed while I am there, I would buy something, just so that there is a sense of responsibility. It is not male or female. When you now include a love twist to the relationship, then the expectation goes higher. But normal courtesy of human being to human being, I travel. I spend 1 week in houses of people, less than 1 week safe. I will be going from Nigeria and buying dry fish. BC knows she does the same thing. We'll buy dry fish, buy crayfish, so that I'm not going empty-handed. And then if I get to your place and I don't have anything, if I go out, I'll buy something to give the children. Because it is just the responsible thing to do. It is not entitlement to expect. It is courtesy to do. Let's now break down what...
So come to me. Okay, come.
Yeah, so I get it, and you're right. For every relationship, that's just part of, it's decent, it's courteous, that's the sort of thing we should do. But I think it's a bit different with relationships now in our present day, and I think that men are struggling a lot. Young boys growing up, entering the dating scene, too many information out there. This one is saying, oh, do you know that they call you Mugu if you give something? So a young man is coming up and saying, in this dating life, nobody's going to call me a Mugu. Do you understand? Oh, they're just chopping your money. You're a simp. Those are the sort of words I see every day on social media. So young boys are saying this thing. And then they are arranging themselves in such a way that they are not cheated or taken advantage of in the dating scene. And then they make mistakes like this. So it is important that gentlemen, more adult, more grown-up men need to speak up more and teach the younger ones the best way to do things. On social media, it's really about a persona that you are invincible, you are tough, you are hard. In fact, when I read some of the things on social media, I'm wondering how these girls are dating these boys, because the boys are confused. They don't even know what they are meant to do. But it's not, I think we've put the story of people behaving badly so much, we've highlighted it so much that people don't realize that this is just a group or a few people behaving a certain way, bad way. But it's okay when you meet someone, go with an open mind. If you're having a conversation, it's okay to take gifts. And if the person takes advantage, it's not even taking advantage. If the person behaves badly and does not appreciate the good that you do, you can walk away. The only person that is cheated is the person who thinks that they are cheating you, because they're the ones that would lose on a good person. They are the ones that will lose on a decent, courteous person. So just maintain that gentlemanliness in everything you do. And if you meet someone that is not deserving of your quality, of your status, let the person go. Whatever the person enjoyed in that short time that you allowed them access to you, that's all they will ever get.
Let me come to you, BC.
Yeah, so for me, I saw the mistakes firsthand. I wouldn't advise that somebody who you haven't met before would just come straight to your house to come and stay nights. I understand, yes, now, and I understand that, it's a distance, Ondo to Lagos, you people, but your first meeting for a few times shouldn't be coming with bag already to come and spend the night. That's where the first mistake is, and I would not advise any lady to put herself in that position. You want to come and visit, find time, get a hotel, come, you visit, we hang out, you go back to your hotel, I go back to my home. you need that space to even understand who is this person? What's the kind of man that I want? Is it generous enough to my liking? Or he's not generous at all? Maybe he comes, he pays his hotel bill, he stays in the hotel, and I come, he cannot even offer to buy me lunch while we are talking, or then we eat lunch and he's asking me to pay for myself and I pay. So you know some of these things before, because I will not guarantee that nothing happened in that room for 2 days. So he ate the food, he collected the other one, and he did not drop come, he left, and you are upset, you're complaining, because you will feel used and cheated. So women are not supposed to put themselves in that position, right? Then secondly, I like how Tope entered it. There are certain things that if you don't learn as young people, as children, you know, when our parents are telling us some of these things, we act like it doesn't matter. You don't learn them. They will mess you up in future. Soft skills. They say little foxes spoil the vine. Those things that we don't really pay attention to, they are the things that hold us together as adults. So it's a no-brainer that you're coming to visit from another state. You did not buy bakery, you did not buy sweets, you did not buy chewing gum, nothing. So you just came to do what now? To be looking at my face and I'm looking at your face. And it's not like, so I know the narrative out there that Nigerian women are very expensive, they like to eat money. But I was watching a skit, a Chinese man and wife just yesterday from my husband's phone. And I called him to come and see it. So see what happened. The lady came, apparently she was upset about something. And so she came to lie down on the bed, shifted herself, they demarcated between her and her husband with a pillow, you know, put her head down, covered her duvet. Like you will tell she's upset with the husband. And then when she raised her pillow up, she saw notes, words of cash. She smiled. She put the pillow down and went to hug the husband. You know, so it's general. You know why? Because women are naturally wired to receive. Okay. They give in their own way, now but they are more wired to receive.
Let's take this away from dating. Let's bring it to marriages. Because a lot of women out there also feel that their spouses are not gentlemen. They're not kind, you know. Their own is pay the bill, pay school fees, I've done my responsibility, that's it. You know, we see these things in movies and we're like, oh, these are Igbo people with flowers and saying, what's on the flowers, they're not African. But a lot of women would like to be pampered, like to be cared for, and they like to be treated special. Well, because you've been married 25 years, 30 years, just like, what's the big deal? You know, you've seen finish. In marriage, you don't care about what's heat. And same thing goes to women take advantage of their husbands, say, I beg, it's not Baba Sikira, he's fine, he doesn't need anything. But should we begin to see our relationships different such that we give more?
So I listened to you and I understand, I get the plain point. There are different men, you know, the average Nigerian man isn't necessarily brought up romantic. There are very few that got that lesson. Maybe they had a bit of international exposure, or by their personality, they are very warm and life did not take it out of them. Because for some men, they grew up, they have that warmth, that kindness, and some bad babes dealt with them early enough in life that the person you are marrying is not the person who they are organically. This is the version they had become so that they can survive the kind of women they've dealt with. So if we put that aside, it is that culturally we're not really into that thing. A man's job is to provide for the house. I've put food at home, there's lights, children have school fees, you are not naked.
What are you looking for?
So what else do you want? They've compartmentalized it like, have I not been a responsible man? Are you hungry in this house? Are there any children that are abandoned? Is there school resuming and they cannot go to school? If I've done all of that for you, I love you. There's no way to say it. So they've communicated their love by being responsible in that space. While we, on the other hand, we have read plenty with bills and bones. The next generation, they watched The Rich Also Cry, I watched telenovelas, and these ones are watching another set. And there's an expectation of how they want to be treated, which we are not grooming the men to meet those expectations. So people go into marriage expecting this, and the man is expecting that I will deliver that, and there's no bridging of that gap. So I was having a small marriage counseling with someone yesterday. They're about to get married, and he was just complaining about something that she feels like she shouldn't be working, that she's already telling me that she will need a maid. And I told him, I said, but she will need a maid. He said, I'm a man, I wash my clothes, I cook myself. I said, but she will need a maid. She's going to be working full-time as she gets married to you. She will need, understand it up front. I know for a fact that if she had a conversation with a guy or guys his age, the advice he'll be getting will be different.
Yes.
But because he has access to someone like me, and we're having that talk, I'm able to change what he's expecting. I said, there are little things. Buy deep freezer. It might not be a big deal. Have different so that when she cooks on weekend, it can last you through the week. That is just a simple thing. That don't make it look like she should do. How can she say she cannot cook when she cannot come in the evening? I say because she will be tired now. You to think about it. He really did not think that she should be that tired because he says he comes back home in the evening and sometimes he boils rice and eats himself. So why would she say she's more tired than me when I'm also
boiling rice?
I realize that the gap is different. The difference between the way men think and women think is so far apart that nobody is bridging that.
A lot of men are not being talked to. Nobody's talking to them. Nobody's counseling them. They don't have, pastors are just preaching and that's it. Nobody's really having these engagements with our men to know them how to be able to teach them, give them the options. And, how to do it.
And the options will also vary according to the partner that they have. For some people, all those romantic things that you are looking for, the women don't mind. They are okay, just make sure you provide everything I need. I'm good. I mind my business, you mind your business. But for those women who want it, who crave it, who have, studied themselves, who are becoming self-aware and they are saying, this will make me feel good, you must communicate to the man. No matter how long it takes you, you just have to keep telling him. Because what I see, one of the reasons we have issues in marriages is the fact that there are unspoken expectations. You did not say it, but you expected it to be happening. You assumed he should know, and he doesn't know. And then because you have not communicated, you don't even know how to express it in words, you are upset in your heart because he's not doing what you assumed he should know. So don't assume anything. Just keep asking those questions, keep having those conversations, keep reviewing. Every few months, sit together when you have your dinners and ask, is there anything I'm doing you don't like? Is there anything you want me to do better? Is there anything you think I can improve on? Keep having that conversation. And the truth of the matter is they will hear. For those who are ready to work that marriage, they will hear. And they may begin to, change.
Let's wrap up on this. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you started off with saying, what if it's not like, for me, the way you introduced it looked like you were comparing a romantic person. You were saying that a romantic person is the gentleman, and the one who's unromantic is not the gentleman. Some gentlemen are not romantic in the sense of it, like in the lovey-dovey way, but they are gentlemen because they are responsible. They have good manners. They are courteous, and they understand their responsibilities and they carry it out. For that romantic, that extra romantic thing that you're looking for. And I feel that a man who's already a gentleman, who understands to be compassionate, will be willing to sit with a partner and say, in what other ways can I do this better for you? Because he's in a gentleman in a relationship with you also just wants to make you happy. He would also let you know what his limitations are. And as a lady yourself, you would appreciate what he brings to the table. If he is a gentleman and you can see in his own way what he's done. The conversation on how romantic a person should be, I think in a marriage is something that it goes on, for a while. That person would try in different ways to show you their romantic side. But if that person is not a romantic person and he has shown you in so many other ways how they are responsible and they provide for you, be the romantic person to that person. I just feel, be the one that does the romantic stuff. My husband has called me out one time when I was saying something about, oh, he's not romantic. And he said, no, madam, I'm the romantic one. You keep saying you're romantic. You like to receive it, but you don't necessarily give it, And so maybe you should, the other person that needs romance should lead by example, and the person would learn to do.
So from the case study we took earlier, when I was talking about gentlemen, I was referring more to the giving, the ability to give, because the issue was that he came all the way from Ondo empty-handed. So part of that responsibility also is the ability to give. And as you said, not all of them, not every gentleman needs to be romantic. And if he's romantic,
no, that one is not a gentleman.
Yes.
The one that showed up with
it's not about romance. That person is not about romance. It's about being gentle, being a gentleman, being responsible, and it goes across. But some people would be within your space. Like you would visit someone, you stay there for a week.
Eat
you
everything.
would eat everything and you keep going out and coming in. It's not about, it's not about the...
He's not a gentleman, not only for not bringing the gift, that he even felt comfortable to be in her house.
And live off
for 2
someone.
days.
And some will say, I'm testing her. Please don't test a woman like
Test
that.
yourself.
You are revealing who you are on the inside, and we will judge you based
Okay,
on it.
that's all we can take on this week. I think we've exhausted the conversation on this. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're still discussing various topics today, and there was a story that caught our mind. Mariam, would you like to?
Yes, so this is, I think, a tweet. It says, this is her Adoshe. She says, a man pays for her hair to get done, and once the man handed her the money, she gave the amount to the braider. So the full amount she asked for, she handed it straight to the braider, and the braider is like, why did you tell him the correct amount? Why didn't you add something on top? And she was like, why would I add anything on top? This is a man that I like. Why would I finesse him, you know, because I want to make my hair? And then she goes that people only know how to be wicked these days. But she got a response. Someone says it's not wickedness. It's always better to ask for much more than you need, and referred to her as being a child. So
that brings us to the conversation of somewhat related to what we just talked about. You know, men feeling used by a lot of women, especially in relationships. You know, they feel that women does not totally sincere. So if she asks for 10,000 naira, she actually really needs 1,000 naira. Is that 10,000? She inflates the padding we are complaining government does.
It started
women
from,
do it.
started from the kitchen.
Padding their tomato money, padding everything. And this has now gone to the point where relationships, men are now they feel used by by those, their loved ones. What are your thoughts on this? Because this is a major problem, especially in relationships and even in marriages. Why husbands don't trust their wives. They feel that this amount of money you're asking for, you don't need it. And we must be truthful to ourselves. There are times we've collected money from our husbands that is more than what we needed. Me, I know I've done it before.
Only once. That's all I know. That's my default. So
I know that.
So in defense of, let me take it from the women, why some women were doing it then. Because like we said, it's like something we've always seen. Because there are things that are crucial, like there are basic things in the house that a man will always drop money for. And there are things that the house needs that a man will not feel the house needs and will not drop money for. So you inflate the essentials so that you can provide for what will be non-essentials but are aesthetic. So maybe if you ask for money for food, you will get all the money you need. But you ask to buy a bit of decoration for the house. And the man will feel like, why should we spend 10,000 on decoration? But when visitors come to the house, they will notice the decoration and feel like, oh, this house is really pretty. So some women, in most cases, it's not to live off or live large. It is a case of balancing that, let me put the money I need for extra cups on the money for food so that I can buy more cups at home because it might not give me money.
So that means corruption started from the home.
No. That's corruption started from the home. That's why I'm breaking it down, that there are different options. There are also the cases where the husband will pay for some things, and there are times when he does not have money. So when he has money, I collect as much as I can and keep it so that the days when he does not have, I can bring out the savings, since he's not a saving person, to ensure that we never go hungry. And that is also a template that many women did back then.
Let me take this call from Hassan. He's been holding. Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hassan.
Good morning, sir.
Please, let me give you one instance of a lady, an exemplary lady. She paid a visit to a friend of mine. And when she is going back, my friend brought out a bundle of money and gave it to her. The lady rejected the money. Do you know what the lady said to him? I am not a prostitute. And I did not visit you for you to give me money. That is a lady from a very good home. A man visiting a woman from Ondo. Look, I don't believe in free meal. But one thing is very clear. You see, a woman should not be banking on man giving her money at the first instance. Responsibility is responsibility. Affection is affection. I don't see reason why we should be monetizing love and relationships. It's all right. It is not a matter that men should learn to be responsible in the world of morality. It doesn't mean that. A man that knows his responsibility, he knew that when you put a woman in your house, you need to feed her, you need to clothe her, you need to do a lot of things for her. But not this issue of putting it at the front burner. A woman seeing marriage or relationship as a means to an end is all right.
Thank you, Hassan. That's an interesting angle, which is also valid to some people. Is don't expect to get money because I served, because I came to you, doesn't mean I should give you money.
So I get where he's so I get where he's coming from about making. We've talked about it, making dating transactional, monetizing. That's a whole different topic. I think with this story, what at least based on what she was saying is he didn't even come with anything. I mean, even locally, like with people without education or anything, we have that gifting culture. You're courting a girl. You're going to see her. You take something small, and no one is asking you to bring much more than you can afford, or bring exactly, something that will wow her. Just to show common courtesy and appreciation for the time I'm coming to spend with you. I got something for you. I got you a basket of fruits. Oh, I saw bread and I got it for you. That's what we're talking about. That transactional one is a serious topic, but I feel that in this case, it's a bit different. This has to do with you're visiting someone. That's why I was even saying that the lack of gentlemanliness for me is not only the fact that he didn't bring something, that he even felt comfortable to lay in her bed, sleep in her house for 2 days, someone that you have just met. There has to be a way that we that we treat ourselves and we respect ourselves. And I feel that sometimes the way we say things, we make men feel that this is about transaction. When we're asking that, just come on courtesy, come with something. Yeah. When you say, oh no, you're expecting, you are being entitled, that's not, this is different. This is about respecting yourself and respecting the person that you're coming, and just bring a little gift. That's all.
Yeah, so I think also they are not taking cognizance of the times we're in. During our time, from your father's house to your husband's house, we're not living alone after school. We're not paying our rents. When you finish school, you're still in the house till maybe a man comes to marry you. Look at what is happening right now. In fact, some people, once they are done with secondary school, they're already hustling. They're already on their own. They are paying rent. I see young people who I'm saying, come and do volunteer work with me. And they're like, I'm the one paying my rent. I'm the one doing this for myself. I'm the one paying for my school. And you come there. If the lady was in her father's house, would he have come to spend 2 days there? He wouldn't. He would have stayed in a hotel. But because of the situation, the lady is staying on her own. You have to bring something. It's not about transaction. It's just about knowing the right things to do at the right time. And if you're not right for it, leave it. You will have a call?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yes.
I do have a call today.
Okay, take your call.
This is what she's saying. First, thanks for calling. You live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
I'm enjoying your topic. I agree with Mrs. When you are coming for the first time in this type of situation, you're supposed to bring something. No matter what. You're supposed to bring something. I'm a man. So, common sense should tell that man.
The line is breaking. Mr. Festus, we can't hear you again. Sorry about that.
Yes, so coming back to our present topic, yes, about women padding. I think women the people who started this, started it based on the experience they had. Because I've seen men who do not understand that a woman should have extra to buy her undies, or should have extra to make her hair, or should have extra to make the nails. And they would want that for everything you need. You keep bringing the requests one after the other. So you write your bill for the month, allowance. Then when you need to make your hair, you write, I need to make my hair. When somebody calls you, maybe from your home front, they need something, there's an emergency, you have to go through to take permission before the money is signed out. And some women are looking back to say, I can't be doing this. So I have to tell the person, Mommy, wait, let me take permission from my husband before I can send you money. So they decided, okay, since this man, when I give him a list for food, he doesn't quarrel, let me pad it so that I have extra. Now when, like she said, when he needs the extra, he needs, maybe he gets broke. And this has happened to me. I remember there was a time we were still building and all Oga's money was in buying block and cement and everything at the time. And he didn't know that I was saving off the feeding allowance. Of course, I inflate. I see inflate it tomorrow. He knows I inflate. There's nothing he can do about it. He's used to it now. So I had Kolo in the house. That's local box where you put money. He was so broke. He was looking for, who do I call now to raise me? I can't be there. You're calling somebody to raise you. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm your helpmeet. So I said, guess what? I have Kolo. Let's open it now so that you take what you need. He said, what? How did you save? How did the money come from? I said, brother, after this shout, let us open the Kolo. And that's how we opened the money. And we brought out a lot of money that I saved so far. And he helped. We didn't go outside borrowing. I cushioned the effect. That's my job. If I was collecting everything, so bread is 500, I collect 500, and I don't have change. Of course, my children will eat bread. I'm not going to give them less because I want to save. Where will I get the one I helped him with when he needed it? So it's not like it's something wrong. You just work with the situation.
So why do we get upset when government pads?
Government is different. That's not your fault.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
May I go on this? I will said my point.
Women can pad, but government cannot pad.
No.
So I was going to actually say that, yes, some women pad, as BC has confidently claimed that she does, but there are some women that do not. And also, I think it's what works for you. And some people do not because they feel that, okay, I know exactly what comes in and what goes out. And I know when money needs to be per time. Yeah. And taking extra at this time may be detrimental to, you know, the big picture. Yeah. And so they would go per time. But I wanted to also differentiate between marriage and dating, especially now that we see dating as an art where people are giving money for dating, you know. So this particular story that we read out, she said she asked for money to braid her hair. She was specific, was to braid her hair. She's not married to this person. We have some people who will say, you know what, I like your nails, I would like to pay for your nails. I don't think that's the point to say it is 3 times the amount. This is someone, an admirer, who has said, there's no need to do that. You pay for it. In fact, you can even say, pay for it directly, or as this girl did, paid for it, you know. That's all you need to do. But in marriages, I can see how someone thinks, Tokpa also mentioned it, someone thinks that it's another way of saving the man. This is a man that normally would not save his money, would like to spend it. So in her own wisdom, she's putting it aside. And where does it end up? It ends up in the home still. Yeah. When you're dating, people who are dating multiple people, you have someone that's paid for your nails, you ask for a little more so that you can wear a particular outfit to go on a date with someone else. That comes across as if you're being transactional. So I feel that's the difference.
So when we now come to where how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you've been padding in your house as a wife or as a husband in your whatever, you've been padding, and they now make you DG of XYZ. And they wait now, I'm saying, wait, listen, because how you do one thing is how you do every other thing. They taught us the NIPRO, NLP.
Yes.
So you now pad the state budget because you feel that there's some things that are not in the budget that, like aesthetics, you know, we need to plant some flowers here, we need to do some things. Let me add a bit of more money because, so it's 10 million naira for this state government, but let me make it 20 million naira because there are few things I want to do, and from them, I'm paying school fees here for different people, you know. So it's the same mentality. So the point is that as Nigerians, we must understand that we are government. We, the people that pad, that were saying it's okay for housewife Mrs. John to pad her house budget. It's okay for Mr. John to pad the government budget.
There are two
different things.
Completely
Don't put it
different
together,
scenarios.
Please help me understand.
What is acceptable within the house? And yet within the house, if the husband finds out and says, no padding of any funds, anything you ask me for, I will give you.
Exactly.
At that point, it becomes a
conversation.
It becomes a crime if that woman and any woman continues to pad. Yeah. When your husband has told you bluntly that, please give me actual figure, I would cover anything that is essential. That's number one. When it is not specified like that, it's okay. In the Nigerian case, it is
public
specific.
funds.
There is a rule. There are expectations. When you contravene that, it's not pardon anymore. It is now corruption.
Corruption, you're stealing.
It's embezzlement. It is a crime. Number one. Number two, most of the pardon and embezzlement that takes place within the government space isn't going into the funds for the people. It is going into private pockets to fund a lavish lifestyle, which is what we see. We see people become local government chairman or become House of Rep member, and
we are saying the same.
We're not saying the same.
We are saying the same
from
thing.
their house. So you are padding the budget.
Mrs. John padded to buy earrings. She's not. Wait, listen. You are assuming that Mrs. John is padding to do good things, but there's a possibility that there's sometimes that Mrs. John is padding because she wants to buy jewelry from BC. She wants to buy Brazilian hair. So we all do. The point is that I want us to understand, because one of the reasons why we do this show is for people to see things differently. Nigerians must begin to see that if we are saying it's okay for us to pardon our homes, the government, we will not enter government and do the same thing. So what I would rather us do is have a conversation with the spouse. Mr. John, please, this thing costs this. This one costs this. This is the true figure of the budget.
Yes, and Mr. John says,
I don't need to pardon it. I don't need to pardon you. So you dare to have a conversation. You know, pardon is a crime.
Don't go and make your money.
Pardon is a crime. So now, general revenue generation, you gotta make your own money because government is saying I can't pay you. Don't pardon me, no. Now every local government, local government now begins to generate, because if I go to state government, then I can't pay them again. I must generate income. So Mrs. John must generate income to add it.
No. Wait now.
So, I'm just making. I want us Nigerians to see all the various lines.
Yes.
I'll let you that simmer down. I'll come to you. Let me take Uche, then I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Good morning, Uche. Thanks for calling. You're live.
So thank you very much. I guess very interesting discussion you guys have there. First of all, I think we need to understand that what is bad is bad.
Yeah.
And now this thing is making news because it is a guy that went to a lady's place, right? If it's the other way, I mean, several times the other way around and nobody complains.
Right.
So what is bad is bad. Yeah. I want to support the Topper's line of thought. When you are going to somebody's house, whether you are a male or a female, go with something. That should be able to manage the situation or, present you in a light that you are a reasonable human being, whether you are a male or a female. So this becomes news because it's a guy. If it is a lady that came to a guy's place, she would have even eaten all the food, also collect money and go home, and it will not make news. So what we are saying is that either way, it is bad. Whether male or female, if you're going to somebody's house and you're going to stay beyond one day, even a visit to around that, you can go with a gift, and that makes that shows that you're coming from a reasonable home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uche.
Yes. So, me, for instance, I do different businesses. I make my own money. I can hold my own, right? But I don't have my own money. Everything is used together. Everything is planned together. So take for instance now when fuel subsidy was removed and we woke up the next morning and everybody had to double the price, started buying fuel. And I didn't have anything that I had, kept in the color somewhere. I would put all of the pressure on him, unplanned for. But because I had something kept aside, I was cushioning the effect till we are able to reorganize ourselves again. That is where it comes in. I'm not, I know how you always say how you do one thing is how you do another thing. For me, if it's public funds meant for something, it's not my personal funds. Between me and my husband is our personal fund. Whatever I save, I still use in the house for the good of the house. Whether I buy earring or not, it's for the good of the house. I'm looking very beautiful this morning. It's not Mr. Bo that is taking glory, even if it's the money that I padded I used to buy the earring. Nobody knows that. It's for the good of the house. The problem is with public funds, you're using it for your personal good and not the interest of. That's where I want us to separate it. So if I get into public funds and I start using it in the name of padding, and I'm using it to go on trips, go on different things, I'm not doing the roads I'm supposed to be doing, that's a different ballgame. That's corruption and that's stealing. But if I pad, and now, for instance, again, we're supposed to pay something in school, and then they added additional money because of this fuel subsidy and all of that, and there was no available cash. I had to pay. if I did not have something extra, don't you think that man's white hair wouldn't have doubled by now? He would be panicking up and down. But I saved the day because I had something set aside. So let's not make it totally bad. Our forefathers and our mothers that were doing it, that were putting money inside brazy. No, hold on, no. They were putting money inside brazy was because they understood that some needs will come up, that you will not quickly go and be asking for permission to do something, that you can just show up.
Good morning, Ify. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. All right, I want to contribute concerning this topic. You know what guys are doing now? They said that most ladies are lonely and they need a guy as a desperate of 14 marriage. You get? So
no, we didn't get that.
Like, okay, concerning what this guy did,
okay,
it was actually wrong.
Okay.
Coming from Ondo to Lagos without anything to meet a lady, he felt that he's doing justice to that lady. Maybe probably he thinks the lady is lonely and maybe she's so desperate to get married that even if I go there, she will accept me.
Right. Which she did.
You get? So a lot of guys feel young ladies living alone and being desperate, being lonely, so they don't have regard for ladies any longer.
Wow. That's another angle. Thank you so much, Ify.
So, I was on the space of there's a bit of rationality to the padding that was taking place in that's still taking place in some households based on the reality of those households. And I believe that if the rule has been established against it, don't do it. But when you broke down the idea of the mindset and the subconscious redoing, or like the subconscious transmuting of what you're doing at home into government, you might be able to separate it. Many people might not be able to separate it because that's who they are. By standard, if there's 500 naira for this phone and they say we need to buy 10 phones, some people, because they've done it forever, they don't even see it as wrong that they are putting extra money. They'll be like, if the dollar changes, that's why I added extra money. But what if it comes down? Do you remit the money back in honesty? It doesn't happen. Then there's a thought of the fact that, if I don't pad to collect money, how will I settle my ward people that will come and meet me? How will I pay the hospital bill of those accounts? So there's a bit, they can rationalize the idea of padding, but the overall challenge still remains that when we pad, we don't have the true picture of our finances. They pad petrol subsidy. That's how we got here. The inflation, in the beginning, it might not have been negative, but at a point in time, people's mouth became so wide, they kept inflating the price till we are here. If we want to deal with corruption, I get the idea of let's deal it comprehensively. Let's say we're cutting mindset. When you mentioned it, it started connecting in my head that I've spoken to a few politicians that they did not understand that some of the things they were doing was bad, because that's all they've done, even in the house and all their life.
Come to you, Mariam. Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping. Go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, so talking about padding, and I'm looking at the stories and I'm saying definitely if it's a mindset I have, it's a way I've always done things, I will translate it to work. Now, there's some people, you made this good example of padding, at workplace or in government, and let's say they even use that extra padded amount for aesthetics. What happens when there's supposed to be an account, an audit of it? Nobody's going to hail you for taking that extra money to even do more on, let's say there's an office renovation happening, this particular office, and they want you to do ceiling, floors, and walls. But then you decided, I need to pad it a bit so that when it's done, I can get some furniture and put this little cute antique clock on the side. When audit comes, nobody is going to hail you for putting the extra because you stole to do that. That's how it will be explained. And one thing with the danger of doing things without understanding why someone is doing it is that many people will just take it as what to do. If you're padding your home bills so that you can save, so because you have a husband that is not very good in saving, so that you can help during a bad situation, someone else just sees that, this person has enough to put, this person has enough to put aside, and that is the way to go about it. After all, BC is able to put aside, and it's not a big deal. So you are now in a situation where the problem is when you put aside, this money is not too much where you are coming from. It's just a little, a limited resource. And when you take out, when you pad, you are denying some parts of the house or some other parts resources that is needed per time. But you have not kept this money in a savings for a rainy day when it's already a rainy day in your own house.
Areas.
So that's the danger of it. I feel that we should just tell people that it's not the right thing to do. But you know, as we say with all marriages, everybody has something, has their own type of marriage. BC is saying that her money, their money has always been their money. Yeah. So that money is not going anywhere. But there's some people, that is not how it is. The man provides it and gives you what he can give you, and then you do what you can. And we have some people that there is 50-50 in their homes. The man brings and the woman brings. If the woman is padding for the man, is the man allowed to pad on her? You know, those are the things that we should look at. But I feel that padding isn't
That's
right.
all we can take on this segment. I think we'll be able to say it in different ways. But let me go on a break now. We come back, we'll bring in our celebrity guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Our Celebrity Friday, and we have with us Rotimi Salami in the building. He's a Nigerian actor, director, producer, brand influencer, and entrepreneur. He's known for his roles in both Yoruba and English Nollywood movies. He has won several awards. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Thank
so
you.
before you came, we were talking about gentlemen. The fact that there was a story we took, I think it was BC that mentioned that story, where a man left Ondo to Lagos State to go and see his girlfriend. They've been chatting, he's been courting her for a few months.
Okay.
Online, right? And then he goes to Lagos to see her, and he didn't take anything along with him. And the lady was not happy that she just felt, she stayed 2 days in her house. Bobby ate her food and did a lot of things. And we just felt that maybe Nigerian men don't understand how to be gentlemen, how to be courteous, how to be kind. In your view, do you think there was anything wrong in not taking a gift to her?
Of course I won't do the same thing, because I'm a very rational person. I expect anything at any time. What if I get there, she's broke? What if I get there, I don't even get to see her? And I'm that kind of person that until it happens, I don't ever think it will happen. So I'm always prepared.
For the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. So definitely I'll be loaded going to see her. So, I mean, I don't think that's gentlemanly enough.
You see, Mariam said some things earlier, and because you're, you know, I think you asked some young person movie about with your dressing. You're looking very mature and big, but we were trying to get a perspective of a
Are you saying
man.
I'm young?
As per how.
Okay, so you think?
How old are you?
I'll be 40 this year.
What? See, but you look younger. So that's
I know, right?
Like
I
20
look
years
like 21,
younger.
yeah.
Yes.
You have earrings and all of that, but let me go to my question. Because we have a lot of young ladies, and we probably might not understand the mindset of what men are dealing with young girls that are always coming with bills. You know, they're asking you for hair, asking you for nails, asking you to fund many things about their life. And she was saying maybe the guy felt that, let me test you, or maybe the guy felt like a lot of girls are taking advantage. I don't want to become the next MAGA for you or the next Mugu, you know. So what have you seen from younger guys and your interaction with those women?
I'll say the younger guys. I mean, this very generation you're talking about, they're weird. That's all I can say. You don't know what to expect from them. And in all honesty, I think they are more realistic with the things they do because they have confidence. So whenever they want anything from you as opposite sex, they tell you straight. I'm talking about both male and female now. Like, they tell you straight. Oh, bro, I like you. Man, let's shag. Straight, yeah. They don't even. Some will tell you, hey, they'll tell you, hey, bro, I know you're married, but I'm not asking for any other thing. Let's just have it. And for the guys too, they feel, oh, I have the money. You understand? So what do you want? Yes, I'm 17, and you're almost 40, but I can take care of you. I've got the money. What? So I'll walk up to you and let you know I want to take care of you.
He's right.
It's good that we're hearing this perspective because you know sometimes here we're talking to people and we feel that this is not how to do it, but now that you have given us this perspective, so it means that people in this generation, if you don't ask, you don't get.
If you don't ask, you don't get. I mean, that's the reality about life.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to move to the next level. If you don't make the move, if you don't ask people for help, if you don't talk about it, nothing will happen.
So you married?
I am married.
How many
Two kids.
Wow, you don't
One
look
girl.
it. But how does your wife handle the pressure from outside? I mean, do you get this kind of pressure from women?
Well, I mean, I don't want to brag. I'm a fine boy, so what you expect?
We know now.
So definitely it will come. Whether you're good looking or not, as long as you're on screen, definitely opposite sex will come for you, especially when they love what you do.
Right.
You understand? But for my wife, now I give it to her. She's a testman as well, so she knows and understands what the rudiment of the job is about. But at the same time, I'm not saying that's enough for her to understand. She's just understanding because she's meant for me and I'm meant for her.
Still staying within that area that Murayo went to, because, you know, in the past, like 1 week, it's been buzz of your industry. Or just belleration here.
What did you say?
Belleration.
Oh, belleration.
Belleration here and there. You know, and different area codes and people hooking up. So it seems like, we discussed it and we felt like, you know, this my wonderful friend here, she's studying the aura, the body, the human mind, energy, said the sacral chakra. Like this thing is, there's something about artists and the fact that there's a sensual strength to them that is attracting people. And I get that. So you are in that space. Is it possible for a celebrity, for an entertainer to be faithful?
It is, it's possible.
Okay.
And one of the things I tell people is planning.
Okay.
You know, even marriage, you need to plan ahead. For example, I tell people, if you want to settle down with anyone, ensure that you are, you know, there are certain qualities you love about women generally that you want to have in, my wife to be. The first question is, what kind of home do I want to have?
Okay.
Then it becomes, what kind of husband do I want to become? It comes to, what kind of woman do I want to wake up with every morning? Is it just a wife because she's beautiful? I've always wanted that tall, you know, tiny shape and big butt kind of guy. But my wife is not tall. Reason being that I had to, you know, evaluate my chances of, okay, fine, I want this. She's very brilliant. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. She's got confidence. A woman without confidence can't date me or marry me. You know, I need to love and respect you. I need to respect certain things in you. I feel my wife knows certain things more than I do. You know, so there are certain qualities you must look out for in a woman that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Then start hunting for that. I'm not saying you will get it 100%. Or, like I said, my wife is not tall.
Yes.
You know, so when you check all of these things and you plan towards it, you need to ask yourself, when we quarrel, is this the kind of a woman that I want to, you know, apologize to, feel like if I leave the house and, you know, I won't be settled mentally, you know? So you have to check all of those things. Let me jump in here
for a second. Let's say you go to China and you meet a tall Nigerian girl, which is perfect, exactly, that's your spec.
Yeah.
That spec that you wanted.
Okay.
What happens?
Nothing happens. I just admire and I move on.
Okay.
Reason being that she can't be my wife. Not anymore.
No, you already have
Certainly.
Why? So, you know, because you're here and you're the man amongst us, we'll just ask you all the questions that we've been grappling
Feel free.
So when we were discussing this belleration that she was talking about, I wanted to find out how men think. Is it that they pick a person out of others and say, okay, this is wife material for wife, but then we have side chick material. So the wife I'm going to have, this is the sort of person, I like them wild and dangerous for outside, but then I'll now take the exact opposite and put in my house. Why do men think that way? Why is it that we see men doing that? And then we keep asking, if you like them wild and dangerous, why don't you bring wild and dangerous
to your house?
Well, I would say for men of such mentality that you're selfish. You know, it's only when you're selfish that's when you want to protect your wife. You want to have missionary style with your wife alone, but wound that one outside. So you should be married to a woman that you can do missionary with, you can do Jackie Chan, every other thing with. I mean, as creative as you get outside, you should be that creative in your home.
Like creative.
Do you understand? Because, yeah, sometimes marriage could get boring, I understand. But then spice it up. Be deliberate. That's what we're saying. You have to be deliberate about everything you do at one point or the other. So for those kind of guys, it's just like, yeah, men are polygamous in nature. It's very understandable. But at the same time, well, because you get, like you said most men already.
But do you
so
think,
it means
do you
that,
agree?
but not all men.
But do you agree?
The thing is, I can't judge. Because the thing is, I don't know what you are going through. You could start on the note of, oh, yeah, we're perfect, we're the best for one another, and you get into that marriage, it's a total different ball game. So what happens then?
Let me
You know,
ask you a
so
direct question. How long have you been married?
we'll be 8 years, already 8 years.
Wow.
Fantastic.
And you've gone far. So,
2015, yeah.
in that 8 years, have you seen someone, probably on set, that you connected with beyond just the acting? Like you felt something,
Yes.
and how did you handle it?
Good question. Because if I tell you I haven't, then I'll be lying.
Yeah.
I have. But the question still remains, can she be my wife? No.
No, okay.
The other part of it is,
She be your girlfriend.
can she be my
sidekick.
girlfriend? Yes, I have lots of girlfriends. Not dating. Not dating.
It's qualified.
I'm that kind of person that I'm even so bad at checking up on my wife sometimes. So even when you come and tell me that because, okay, I'll say all my life, well, I'll say I've been asked out rather than the other way. Right from a very
Fine
tender
boy,
age.
no need.
From a very tender age. So it's not even about being an actor or being a celebrity.
It's
It's
just your
just a
chakra.
thing.
It's the aura.
That thing that my daddy and my mommy has actually,
It's
you know,
the
so
aura.
it's just, so I've been
just
used to that already.
Okay.
So I'm always so blank. So I play into, I'll tell you, I can't date you because I'm not romantic. So
You're not romantic.
So how do you
So
handle
you
it?
never bought, so you never bought
But I
flowers
make
for your
efforts.
wife?
Of course, of course.
Just checking. So how do you,
No,
what are
I
the,
do.
What are the little things you do? Tell us. Teach us. Teach us.
This is the
So how
relationship.
teach us?
This is where we are just
Teach us the few things that you do. You know, maybe we can go and teach our own husband in the house.
This is the thing, yeah. My wife taught me about love language. You know, because I never knew what love language was, but
Men don't.
she runs a show on YouTube, Salami show, and there's a particular topic she treated love language. And, you know, just few weeks to that particular show, and I was like, what is my own love language? And she's like, your love language is, you just want to be around your woman. You just want to play.
Quality time.
Quality time, you know, just play. But for my wife, hers is that play and gift. I don't know how to buy
Acts
gifts.
of service.
Yeah, that's the word, act of service. You know, so that's our own love language. So I have to learn to do that. Okay, maybe sometimes once in a while surprise her, you know, and she appreciates it a lot whenever I do that. So I'm always willing to do that. So which means I don't have everything she wants to, but I would have to adjust just to make her
Before we
happy and
leave
make
this
it work.
relationship matter, let me just ask one question that has been very confusing. I know you can only speak for yourself, but have you seen other entertainers that are like high profile, that you are impressed with how faithful they are in their marriage?
My sister, I can't tell who is faithful or not. So.
Nabil.
I don't follow them.
Yeah, that's the fact. I mean, I could tell you I'm faithful and I'm not. And I could tell you I'm not faithful and I am. Because the assumption to even some of my colleagues, they think that Rotimi is a very coded guy. This guy, they run sense. But you know what? I leave you to believe whatever you want to believe because I can't convince you. So leave me and my conscience to deal with it.
Okay, let's talk about your work. What are you working on right now?
I just finished filming a project titled Abuja.
Abuja.
Not Abuja, it's Abuja.
Okay.
Kingdom of Lies. It's a big cinema project which I'm an associate producer on. We're hitting the cinemas maybe towards the end of the year or next year. And working on another, my investors never complete, Ring of Blood, also for the cinemas as well. You know, but I would say Nollywood is getting more lucrative. Yeah.
I'm happy to
Nollywood
hear that.
is the new oil block.
Fantastic.
Trust me.
Really? They're paying you guys well?
If you're getting better gradually. I mean, we used to make films of 3, 5 million and all of you, or maybe like 10 million going to cinemas and 20 million. But right about now, people make films of 100 and something million, 200 million, and they make back their money. You know, sometimes 200%, you know, profit.
Wow.
Sometimes 100% profit. So I'm telling you guys, come, let's do business.
Invest.
So it's investors you're calling now?
I'm calling investors, yeah, come, let's do
want
business.
to make
Nollywood
money.
is beautiful. Now, the only thing is just ensure you do it right. Do it with the right person, do the
We
legal
don't have
access
enough
and all that, yeah.
platforms to, like Netflix is, well, they've not having Netflix Nigeria, but do you think we need more platforms, like locally?
Of course. We need more platforms because the major reason we're talking about a better Nollywood now is because Netflix came in, Prime Video came in. Now they pay well. So which means that we can now confidently invest huge amounts of money to make good films that will match with Hollywood standard, telling our African stories the appropriate way.
Cool.
I'm happy to hear that because we've been on this show has been on for just about 10 years now, and we've interviewed several people from way back, and we've heard the complaints. Yeah. And in recent times, we've actually heard a few more compliments about the improvement in the industry. Sure. But for the crafts, the craftsmanship, like the producers, the directors, the cameramen, you as an actor, which area would you feel is still lacking that we need to tighten the structure around better?
Okay, so to speak, I'm not just an actor. I'm a filmmaker. I produce, I direct. And before getting to this stage of my career, I've been able to, I know a bit of filmmaking, a bit of everything. I handle camera, I edit, I do a lot, but a lot of people do not know this about me. I think what we need to do more are individual efforts, like we've been doing from way back. Everyone should ensure to get, to improve themselves knowledge-wise. Because Nollywood is moving from level 1 to level 1,000 already. And if you do not improve yourself, if you don't get better at what you do, you just find out that the job stops coming to you. Yes, because right about now, we sit and we ask ourselves, okay, who can handle this, who can do this, who can do that? Most of the good guys are busy on set working. So which means we need we need more cinematographers that are very good at what they do, editors most especially. Every aspect of filmmaking, trust me, we need very strong hands. And if you don't improve yourself to get better, trust me, you're just going to regret being in Nollywood because you won't get jobs.
We'll pass you by.
I like that you said that because a lot of people, when they want to get into the industry, they just want to be actors. And I know there's nothing wrong with that. But and you know, you are talking about how lucrative it is. Yeah. So for people, they're asking behind the scenes, is it as lucrative for them too? Very,
because I mean, for example, Akim Ifet, you know, well, I mean, this is policy, but it's good. It's good at what he does. So we were talking and someone said, okay, Akim charges like 5 million naira now.
That's what the special effects.
Yeah. Do you know, there are actors that take same range of money, you understand?
The same movie.
Yeah. Yes, there are cinematographers that take as much as that too now.
The same movie.
The last movie we produced, this Abuja I'm talking about, we budgeted 45 million earlier, and we end up spending about 70 million. But the good thing about it is we know the money will come back because it's good production.
Okay. So how do you
distribute?
Yes. So before you start the movie, for some people they would have already gotten a distributor, a marketer on ground. So as immediately you're getting the movie out, while others will struggle through who would be willing to pick up this movie to do the marketing. Yeah. How do you work on yours?
Well, I had a meeting, say almost a month ago with Film One. Film One seems to be the biggest distribution company here in Nigeria, and I flew to London to talk to some investors too. And I thought there was a need for me to, you know, make things work out first before getting there. So there are lots of ways for this to work. You know, like you said, some people talk ahead, and some people like, okay, no, I don't want you to interfere in my production. I just want to come with a good production. You see, you love, then let's work on the distribution. Money, yeah. And sometimes some people want to partner with them, but while partnering, they are definitely going to tell you, okay, maybe let's do this, let's use this one. And you might feel like, oh, I don't want to use Mr. A. I feel Mr. A will not give me what I want as a producer or director. And they feel like, Mr. A sells markets and all of you, which is all good. It's still one of those things that you should always consider when it comes to, making a film. There are lots of things to be considered.
Let me watch this clip of you in one of your recent movies.
Okay.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mi, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kábíyèsí, ẹ̀bà àti fiori, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni orí.
Gbẹ̀yìn.
Kábíyèsí, àgbàrá ìfòkòtò, ṣé rí ire táwọn olóògùn yìí kò ní í fò wá ru.
Àṣẹ Elédùà.
Àṣẹ ẹ̀bọ̀n, kábíyèsí, nígbà tá à ń jẹyán lẹ́ǹkan, ẹ̀yin náà lè wí, ẹni kí n jẹun tán ká tó sọ̀rọ̀. Láti jẹun tán náà, ẹran là ń jẹ.
Àjàdí ikọ̀. Nílẹ̀ Oòduà, a kì í jẹun ká mọ ọ̀rọ̀ ọjọ́. Bí a parí ẹran wa náà.
Àmọ́ kábíyèsí, síbí ẹran là ń jẹ. Àbúrò ẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí n sọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ.
Àjàdí. Wọ́n ti sọ̀rọ̀. Bí a parí ẹran wa náà. Ṣé ọmọ pátá lè sàpọ̀ lórí ni? Àjàdí.
All right, so we're waiting for Abuja,
Kingdom of Lies.
Abuja to come.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying doing Yoruba? Because I know you started with English.
Yeah, I started with English. I'll just say, I didn't just transit. I think my life has been, channeled by how God wants it to go, because if anyone had asked if I would ever become a Yoruba actor, a language actor, so to speak, I would have said no. My mother loves language movies, but then I'll be like, no, those people, they are too local for me. I beg me, I cannot do, that has always been my mindset. But all of a sudden, after AMVC, I started getting calls, like, okay, produce this, do that, and somehow, the Yoruba industry just hijacked me somehow. Now, my so to speak colleagues from the English strata will be like, Rotimi, what are you doing? You're too posh to be in Yoruba. But then I have a family to take care of. And money is coming in. And I'm making more face. Come on.
We like our language.
And I think globally, people appreciate us more when we speak our language. So
exactly.
I think we should still start switching that whole poshness. Because the more local we are,
honestly, there are lots of English producers that paying Yoruba movie makers now to write language movies for them.
In my house, I tell them very clearly. In my house, we don't watch English Yoruba. English Nigerian English is Yoruba movies. Is that a cartoon or Yoruba movie? Because you have to speak Yoruba in the house. So those are the only things you're allowed. But I'm happy that.
But I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
You're doing those. We love you in those Yoruba movies.
Thank you.
And please keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Our viewers will have a fabulous weekend.
Yeah.
See you next week. Bye for now.